What's good, people? Welcome to another episode. Last episode of the week. Quality over quarantine. Apologies for lack of yesterday's show. I hold my hands up, man. We were trying to get it together. It did not want to happen. Okay, there's nothing I could do. I was trying my best. It was not working. So that did not happen. Big up to Maxwell D, because Maxwell D was trying. Maxwell D had about 4 different laptops and his phone. He's like, we're trying to get it to work. It was not working. Sometimes that happens. Also, the episode before when we had Phoenix the Icefire, for some reason the audio didn't work. I've spoken to Ecamm. They don't know what is wrong. But today, man, it's all different. The vibe's different. The feel's different. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know what time it is? Big up the one they called Juga-Naut. How you doing, brother?
What's good, man? I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, super blessed, man. So I spent today like digging into your catalogue and just listening to your music. So I feel kind of bad in a way, yeah. So nah, because you know what, like, let me break it down to you, yeah. So I class myself as someone who keeps their eye on the ball, yeah, like, know who's who and who's doing what, and for the most part, like, I do. And then a little while ago, Parky hit me up and he's like, yeah, got this project dropping. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I saw the cover and was like, oh shit, that looks cold. Didn't really like, just know what I mean? There's a lot of things happening. We're in a pandemic right now. I ain't got time to, you know what I mean? So I'm just, whatever. So the project drops now. I see the project drop. I think, okay, that looks sick. I post the project. I ain't heard the project yet. I post the project. Say, yo, guys, check this out. Wait, Parky's involved. It must be sick, innit? So then I'm doing my usual Friday. So I'm trying to do the playlist for this platform. And I press play on the first track. And I'm like, wait. Nah, hold on. Now, seriously, what's this? And I play the whole thing here. And I'm just like, nah, bruv. Like, and then I start thinking to myself, right, hold up, wait, I must have known this guy before. Like, there's no way you could just slide under the radar and be this cold. And then bare people are telling me like, yo, have you heard this? I'm like, no, what do you mean have I heard this? Have you heard this? Like, it's nuts. And it's sick. And then I kind of I checked out the project before as well and was just like, this is mad. And how the hell how am I not even hearing about what you're doing? Like,
That's crazy.
It is nuts, man. But tell me your story, like how you came into the game and how long you've been doing this.
There's so much to it, man. I mean, it's, you know what, like, over the past few months, you're not the first person to say that. You've really not the first person to say that. And it's like, it's just so mad. It's a recurring theme now. And it's like, I've been around people like within the UK and worldwide. I've been around a lot of different people, and it always seems to be coming like people know each other, but the dots never seem to connect. And like, I'm doing this grassroots, so I don't have the big budgets to get the promo out and stuff. But a lot of, especially like artists like yourself, a lot of when the promo goes there, it's not really for the artists as well to hear it. You know what I mean? True. It goes to the other channels. But yeah, well, I appreciate you taking the time to actually do it and go in and listen. You know what I mean?
It's cool, man. Like, I'm just like, there's a certain style of music here that I really like, and a certain style of music that I feel is like, for me, for us, it's something that the kids can appreciate, but it's not made for the kids. It's just grown music, but there's a texture to it. It's cut from a different cloth, and it's like listening to it. The whole time I'm just doing that. Oh, do you hear what man just said? Like, oh, and then God, just
that's
the beats and
like
everything.
From another, MC who's been doing this for the longest. I appreciate that. It's like you asked me, like, my startings, my beginnings. I mean, I'm 30 now. I've been doing it since my first track I made when I was 13. I've actually been putting music out, like mixtapes, since I was 15 in Nottingham and running around and doing shit. I actually met you outside. I think it was what was it? UK Takeover, I think it was.
Bro.
Yeah. So
wait.
around that time,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
This is what I'm saying. So even then, and I wasn't even old enough to be in there then.
I'm saying, you're 30 now, yes. How old were you then? You must have been like 15 from...
I was 50. I was 14, 15,
That's
16.
crazy.
And it's like, I've known Joe Buddha all my life, because it's like friends of a friends and like family and like, Like it's that, and you know, Nottingham's so small, everyone knows each other. But like I've been doing it since then. I put my first proper mixtape out when I was 16, and since then I've just been doing it professionally. Like I've had other jobs and stuff, but like this is, you know, it's been there. So I've been born into it as well. Like my dad's a drummer and a poet.
Right.
And my mum's an artist as well, and an art teacher. So I was born into art. Like there's been nothing but that, and I've grown up around DJs, producers, musicians, you know, artists, clothes designers, all type of stuff, man. So
who's that? I saw a video of you, rapping,
Yeah.
and the drummer in the background.
that's my dad.
That's crazy, brother.
Yeah,
That's
my dad's called Stickman, and my dad's been doing it for a long time. He was signed to Factory Records in Manchester back in the 80s, and he's done a bunch of stuff. But if you're from Nottingham especially, you know my dad. He's worked his schools and done, you know, some people's first time rapping was with my dad and stuff, as a poet and stuff. So yeah,
that makes sense, because he said something in the intro on the other album.
Yeah,
I was,
my dad.
Yeah. That is so. That's just cold, man. That's like, for me. Yeah, there's always like this element of, when you're getting to know an artist, there's elements of the artist that kind of ingratiate you to the artist even more, and that there in itself, to me, that's a level above everything. Because I feel like once you got family involved, and when we talk about culture, we say, what is your culture, right?
Yeah.
And I would say, like, the culture is different. They don't just mean that. It's not about who you were raised around, really. It's like, what did your parents do for real? Like, was your dad the DJ? Did your uncles bust? You know what I mean? And so to me, that's like, man can't say nothing. And when your dad's doing that, that's you in the game. That's culture for real.
See, this is the thing, and it's like, you know, being, you know, I grew up around a lot of the older heads, and it was like, even before I was around them, they were like, how do you know this shit? But it's like my dad showed me stuff, and my mum showed me stuff, and family friends. But it was me, because I was born into it. It was like I knew nothing but that. So all I wanted to do was know and teach myself. And the stuff, you know, I could show my dad, and, you know, in that way. But yeah, when it comes to culture, that is it. This is the culture. I was born into art. Like there's nothing, I know nothing but this, and that's what I mean. So the only way I could do is, like, as time come on, and get my dad involved in what I'm doing too, because, you know, he's had many things he's been involved in, but people need to know, like, this guy's one of the best drummers in the country. Do you know what I mean? And like it's only right, and we've only got a small amount of time on this planet. So if I can do that, you know what I mean? And now he's on the album, and it's all around the world on vinyl. Do you know what I mean? So
it's amazing, man. It's amazing. One of, like, my favorite things I ever did was I made a song called Father's Day, and I put my dad in the video, and like, amazing. That day was like a mad proud day, because it's kind of like, especially as you come up in a creative industry, it's quite a hard thing to do, and
for sure.
It's slightly different, I guess, in your situation. But with my dad, I was kind of coming up against someone who doesn't really understand as much as what you're doing. So for me to be in a situation and be like, listen, Dad, I'm gonna put you on something, and like, you know what I mean, it's gonna get you to people are gonna holler at you and be like, oh, I see you in that. You know what I mean?
I saw you in that. Yeah. And also to make them, you know, feel it and understand what it is, you know, and what it is that you do, because you know, I don't know your situation, but I know even how people have treated me, and the artists I know that I've grown up around, is like, it's a glorified hobby. It's kind of like, you know, what are you really doing? What is this about? But the thing is, like, art, any form of art is the most sincere, realist thing you can do in life for me. Like, before a baby even talks, they babble and they draw, and they utilize what's around them, and that's creation, that's art. So, you know, when our brain is in one place, and then people can get to see it for what it is, that's a beautiful thing. You're able to do that. You know what I mean?
It's definitely deep, man. It's definitely deep. I'm all over the place here, man, because you're one of these artists that, because I've listened to your music, but I don't know you, So I got my brain's all over the place. There's so many things I want to ask you, man. But like, one of the things that kind of, I guess, really hit me about the style of music you do, or actually no, the artist that you are, is people say this all the time. Oh, my favorite rapper's favorite rapper. The amount of artists that I've seen, like, I'm talking about my favorite artists that are saying, yo, Juga-Naut. Like, I'm like for real. And I love that thing as well, because I always feel like with in this game, when you've been in it for long enough, you get to know, like, who people are and what they're about. And there's certain guys in this game that I really respect. And when I see them shine some light on people, I'm like, all right, cool. This is gonna go somewhere. And Michael Parker said he's one of them guys for me. He's one of them guys who, from when he starts when he meets you, your family, yeah, and he's treating you like family, and when he knows, when I'm like, oh, okay, cool, he's messing with you, then I know I can trust you. Like, you know what I mean?
There's people whose mind and heart and their taste is in the right place.
100%.
So like with him, he was one of the first people from like I've been doing this properly since like I'd say 2009, 10. I'm like when people knew me, and I've been doing this, but like it was about 2015, 16. He was like, yo, as soon as he hit me up, he was like, yo, like he had no qualm saying I fuck with this guy, because you know how much ego's in this and how much competition. And he never came with that, and straight away off the bat, I was like, even just off you, because I didn't grow up listening to his stuff in that way. I didn't grow up listening to that UK hip hop side of things. So like, even some of his music was new to me. So like, I had to go in that way. I knew of him and I knew his beats, but I didn't know him as an artist and as a person. So for him to reach out like that was important, because there's a lot of like fucking bravado and all that shit. Like, and that was the thing I dealt with, like coming up, is like, oh, who's this dude? It's like, yo, okay. I'll just show and prove. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, but with him, I get what you're saying, because I do it as well. When there's someone you look up to, or not even look up to, just respect their taste, and they're like, yo, I fuck with this guy, you are more likely to go and mess with it. But I think that's what's happened with myself, you know, is like, it's a double-edged sword, because a lot of artists love what I do. Right. But then a lot of artists also, there's the thing of like, yo, this guy... you know what I mean?
Can't just throw you on a track.
Throw you on a track because, you know, he's, as people say, he's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I've heard that, and it's been said, you know, past 4 or 5 years. People have said, oh, I've been in a room and so-and-so's mentioned, and then I've not heard nothing, and it's like, see, you know I
think like this is another thing as well. Again, it comes from like coming from a different era and having a different mindset about what the UK game is and where it's going. And you know what, this is something I've only really kind of got into recently, is like, so this idea of like, oh, can't put him on the track because he's gonna murder me. To me, I want someone on the track who's gonna murder me on the track. To me, I'm like, that's what I want. I want the best person to come through and kill it. And it's never been a thing of like, because again, it's an ego thing. To me, I'm like, I don't even look at it that way. And even when people send me songs, they send me a song, and I don't look at it like, right, I got to kill him on the track. I'm like, no, what's the best verse for this track? Like, how do we make a classic?
Exactly. How do we make you? For me, since I was a kid, the main thing I wanted was for this to be timeless, a timeless piece of music. It's not about like, oh, I did way better. It's like, yo, how can we make this as good as possible? Because if it's not, someone will say, yo, that was sick, but that ruined it, or that, you know, that went over the top. Or as long as it's as good as possible, you know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want that? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
and that's the thing as well. Like, I always feel like it's that whole thing of if we get on a track together and you spit a verse that says you just do you do a cold verse, and I'm like, right, I need to kill him on this track, and I start thinking, how can I kill him? I'm gonna come with all these different patterns and then it just kills the track. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
The energy's off, and I know it sounds corny, energy in it, but it's like, it really is.
No, 100%.
About the energy and the feeling and everything that's there, and if it works and it gels, there's nothing better. Do you know what I mean? But to come back to your main point, man, like, I appreciate, you know, that people, you know, are willing, you know, like Parky and people like that are willing to, you know, vouch for me and say, yo, this is the guy, because it does take that. It takes for people to go, yo, check this out, and that's the big, you know, that can be a big turning point. You know, you don't want to feel like, oh, I need a cosign for me to get recognition, but you know, with the industry and how things are now, it does help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does, man. I just think as well, like, because of the amount of music that's coming out, and it's hard to really sit with a project. It's hard to like, yo,
for sure,
how can I give a project this time? And so with the reason I feel like the cosigns help is because you're not having to reinvest in something in the unknown. You're gonna see a certain name and be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, and I feel like that's the beauty of features nowadays. And I feel like that was kind of lost for a little bit, because I feel like people were doing the features for just for the name or just for that. But now I feel like we're really like coming together, like R.I.P. Ty. But I remember me and Ty talking about doing a song, and I remember him sent me some stuff, and I think I sent him some stuff, and he was like, I'm sending you music, yeah, but he goes, don't jump on something just because it's me. He goes,
Just
and
'cause
I'm not, yeah, and he goes, I'm not gonna jump on anything just because it's you. If it doesn't feel right and it doesn't, if the track isn't gonna be what
If
we
it's
both
not
want
right.
it to be, it's not gonna happen. And so we just, I mean, it never happened, and it's sad to say it never happened. But I really respected that energy coming from someone who you respect as well, because then you know it's not a bad man thing. It's somebody giving you that the
Definitely,
real.
man. Even that conversation alone is important, because how many people have said that to you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many people have sat down and just even thought, like, if this doesn't happen, or don't see it as like I've got to do this because
Yeah.
you're X amount or you're who. It's you know, Ty reached out to me, you know, like end of last year, and you know, he was just like, yo, I love what you're doing, send me some music. Like it was never, you know, when you've got someone who's been solidified, who is, you know, of that status and done something that's so important within what we do, for them to be real like that, that's a beautiful thing, because it drops the ego, it drops the veil, it drops, like, you know, it's not like, yo, we need to work, and it's like that alone is like, we need to do this. You know, it's just like, yo, let's do this as two artists, you know, coming together, because that's what it's about, man. It's the music at the end of the day.
So speak to me on that, man. I'm really interested in how you and Parky came together on the project. So this is what I'm a little bit confused about. So you produce as well, right?
Yeah, I produce as well.
Scene, that's mad.
Yeah.
So on the I know you made beats on the project before that, right?
Yeah, Bem. Yeah,
Bem,
yeah.
right. So that project's super hard as well. So that was,
Respect.
I went back and listened to that after listening to, so I heard 12 Bricks first and then went back and listened to that.
Yeah.
On 12 Bricks, did Parky do all the production on that?
Yeah, Parky did all the production.
Right.
So how it came together is, like, after he reached out to me when he first heard my stuff, we said we got to do something, and we did a few tracks. We were like, yeah, this is crazy. So we said we'll do an EP, which was 6 bricks.
Right.
So half of the album has already been released as 6 bricks, and it's 6 more songs to make it 12 bricks.
Sick.
So that's how it came together. So on the side of production side of things, all of it's Parky. I mixed it. He gave me the stems though. Like he was like, cool, you can mix it, and that I was happy about that, because I mean, it's fine with producers sending me stuff, because I work with other people, they mix it, it's cool. But Parky was like, yo, because he said he liked my mix, and I was happy about that.
Sick.
So I was able to really like go in there and get everything slapping, and you know what I mean, and do it properly that way. But yeah, so it just came together. He just sent me a bunch of stuff. 2016, that first one came. 2017 it came out. We recorded most of it 2016 for 6 bricks, and then the rest of it was all recorded pretty much by the beginning of 2018.
Right.
But we had to find the right time, and there was other things that came before. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, it just had to be the right point, and it seemed to work now, man. And we've both been, you know, building up some momentum, and you know what I mean. So it was the right time for it to come.
Yeah, man. Parky's been working, man. Like, I see Parky working. Like, he don't mess about. And I feel like this project, it as a whole, for me, is like, just beats wise, one of my favorites, man. I feel like there's again, I know the kind of the sound you go for, and it sounds expensive, man. It's like, it just sounds, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You gotta like
he you know what I mean? He was like, he was sending me a bunch of stuff, and I said, the thing is with Parky, which is good, because it's like family now as well. I was just like, I'm gonna be real. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. And he was like, cool. He was just sending me. I was like, that one, sending me that one. I was like, and then he got the ear for it.
Yeah.
He got the ear for it, and then he was like, yeah, this one, and then it kind of just clicked together, and I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that sound. You know what I mean? I like the musicality, and when it's that musicality, it ends up usually sounding luxurious and expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's funny, man. Because like, I'm like, so I guess like my favorite, or one of my favorite artists is Rock Marciano. So
yeah,
that sound for me, once I start hearing that soulful sound, that's me. I'm in there. But the problem, I think the problem being is, it's like, well, it's only been recently that we've had that on the UK side of things, like, authentically,
yeah, exactly. And I think the thing is, I said in 2010, like, when I first heard Mossberg, I was like, this is serious shit, and this is what we're all still listening to. Like, I'm still going back and listening to, like, you know, Supreme Clientele and all the classics that this is built up to. And you know, Marcy was in the game, and like, you know, for me, he's the GOAT for this modern, you know, the modern sound and the resurgence. And like
100%.
With him, he came with something at a time when it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't what people were doing, and that's the thing. The key was staying true to it. But I said 10 years ago I was making it, and a lot of people were like, "Yo, come on, man!" Like, you know, Kendrick was popping, and different people coming out, and they're like, "You need to be doing this." I was like, "Look, this is what's true to me."
Yeah.
And you know, every rapper says it. Oh no, I was on this wave before. I've always been, but I really was, and I was working. And there was a few albums that I've been, you know, not come out, and certain things where I was like, "Nah, this is it," and this is what I was brought up listening to. So everything there, like with Mossberg, I played it to my dad. He was like, "Yeah, this is fire."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Where he's like, "Okay, I get this," and the musicality, and he's got his own style, and it's but that sound, you know, I think here, I think there was a formula people had. There was like the more popular side of things, and then the kind of boom bap side of things, and it was like, there's so many just tight, clicky pockets, and only just now it's really coming through. But I just was like, yo, I'm gonna stay on this because this is what's felt right. You know what I mean?
I like that as well, yeah, because I'm the opposite. Because I'm like the way that I am, yeah, I kind of like, I just feed off vibes in it. So I'll be like, I'll be like, oh man, that Afro beat sounds cold. Let me jump on that. Or that sounds cold. Let me jump on that. And I feel like, but I always respect guys who are just like, no, this is my sound. This is my pocket. This is how I work best on. And one thing I've noticed as well is like the type of lyricist you are, that descriptive nature, like the details. It's the details that kill it for me. And it's just like, you know what I mean, man? He said one bar, just literally, I was listening, I was playing something a minute ago. My missus is a teacher, and you said drop unexpectedly like Ofsted or something, and she went, what? Like, and it's like the little.
You know what? I think that was I think that's Capo's bar in that, man.
Is that Capo's?
Capo.
Yeah. Hey man.
Capo. This is the thing. It's like those little things. When it comes to this, they're the things that people never forget.
Yeah.
It's like they're the things that just stay that they're so relatable. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones that stick with me with my favorite MCs. You know what I mean? It's those little relatable things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's funny you saying that about, like, you know, going with the vibes. It's because, like, it's like with Parky with this album, he came with something that, a formula that worked, and we went with that. But I try and go with a lot of what you're hearing is my influences. So like, I got an album called Bon Vivant, and there's a couple on there that I like, you know, broken beat house type shit.
Yeah.
But it's still in the lane of what I was sticking to, which was like raw, soulful shit.
Yeah.
But I might twist it up a bit. I might, you know, it might have more UK flavor or whatever. But it's about just, there's something compound in there that's like, yo, this is the feeling. It's about a feeling, and that's what I want to always convey with what I do, man. But yeah, I'm glad you heard that. Yo, that's what I love, man. You know
the
what I mean?
little bits of pieces
for everyone. You know what I mean?
All right, big up Capo, man. Actually, do you know what?
Big up Capo.
When I first heard you, I kind of heard the familiarity. See, I can't even check your voices apart. Like the style of Capo and also Scorsese as well. To me, to be comparable to those guys, even in itself is nuts anyway. Because I feel like Capo's a different breed. Like, I don't know what the hell he's on.
Completely,
like,
man. He's an alien, man.
Yeah,
he's an alien.
And so is Scores.
So Scores, man. So, you know, and for them to come from my city and me growing up listening to him, and then being able to call them my friends, and you know. And you know, Scores is like a big brother to me. You know, he's like, his birthday's like 2 days after mine, like just shit like that, and exactly 10 years difference. And like with Capo, like with Capo, we've got 2 albums together. We started a group called Triple V. So there's me, Capo, and a rapper called Vandal Savage, who's like my, you know, that's my brother, man. And that's also Joe Bruder's nephew. So it's all intertwined. You know what I mean? So like, this is kind of, you know, it was bound to happen within the city. Do you know what I mean?
How was it? So like, I feel like the not scene in itself has, like you said, you mentioned it's very small. It's very tight knit, but I feel like the foundations are super strong.
It's hip hop through and through, man. Since the early 80s, like when B-boy was big in the States, it was happening here at Rock City where UK Takeover was held. Like there is like the roots are so deep to electro hip hop, and then it's always been there, and people have always tried to do it authentically here. It's like if we're gonna do it, we do it properly, and it's like there's a true love for like being able to come out and be like, yo, we're not fucking around. Like this is for real. Like we're not doing this just to get on a wave or get on, you know, with whatever fads happen. It's like, yo, it's almost like there's people in the city, you know, that probably you've never heard of, but that have lived this day in, day out, through and through, like hip hop or whatever musical form. There's just something about this being a small city and us having something to prove, you know, and it's created a monster, because there's people that, you know, the people like you mentioned that have come from here, and you know, like the forefathers, Mr. 4-5, different people that have come that are just like, as lyricists, are just unbelievable. And the producers, you know, P Brothers, Joe Buddha, you know, there's so many people to mention, but like there's the history and the lineage is crazy. So for me, I didn't feel pressure, but I was like, yo, I know that my foundations are strong, but I'm also not gonna be like, oh, I've got to do this and like prove myself. It was like, let me see where let me let the world know, and then I can come back here as well. You know what I mean?
I think it's fitting. It's very fitting because so when I first came into music, Out the Ville Word, that was like that was like a group that I looked up to like in a crazy way.
For sure.
And even obviously the legends even behind all that, Big Trev, and you know what I mean, like
exactly.
To me, it was always kind of like there's a certain reverence to what the Nottingham scene has, and I feel like you being from that and kind of delivering the music you're delivering, to me, it just makes perfect sense. It's like, yeah, of course, and it's the perfect way to kind of keep that going, because the way I see it, I feel like the longevity in what you're doing, there's gonna be a lot. It's you know what I mean? It's just the start of it. So and
it's nice you saying that, because that's all I've ever wanted is the longevity. I've never ever wanted to be a flash in the pan, and I've been doing this for 15 years. Like I like it properly. Like so, it's not like you know, I'm not the, you know, to some people I'm the new guy. That's cool, but when it actually comes down to it, that's what I've always wanted, is that longevity, because I've seen how it's affected people, especially from here, and different people, even, you know, musicians I've known over the years from all over the UK, that I know, I've seen how much it's affected them when they've not got where they should have or whatever, and I've been like, how can I do this and try and create longevity already and be okay with my situation, and just hopefully it just keeps growing and try and make a career. And somehow I've done it. I think maybe because I've learned from people's mistakes and different things, but you know, I think, it's just that word that you said, longevity. All I want to be able to do is, you know, make a living out of this, man, and that's what it is.
I think when it comes down to what you see a lot of as well, like I said, I've been here a little bit longer than you, yeah. So I've kind of seen the similar things, and one thing you notice as well is why artists get bitter is when they expected something that they didn't get, and I feel like the key to not having that is to understanding that the goal is making the best music. If you made the best music, then you did your job, innit? Like regardless of where it goes and who hears it and whatever, you did your job. And I feel like one of the things that kills artists is when you jump out of your lane to do something that you think is gonna blow you, right? So you jump out, you do this, you go down this other trend, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Now you feel even worse because you're just like, raw, like I didn't even really want to do that, but I did it and it didn't work, and I'm still in the place where I was. Where I feel like, because like you said, yeah, you've been in this lane, you've been making this music, and you've got to a point where the sound is so refined, the music is gonna live forever. That regardless, in it. So anything after that is always just gonna be a bonus, man.
Well, I've done my job then. You know 100%. What I mean? If the music's gonna live forever, I never wanted to be, like I said, go back to 2010, and I'm from the mixtape era where it was like, that's my shit. But then it was like, for the few months, it's like, yo, I'm gonna listen to this D Block mixtape over and over. But I still go back to it. I can't lie. That's
100%.
timeless for me. That's
Yeah,
timeless.
yeah.
I was listening to like Ghost in the Shell and all SPs like shit
Yeah.
the other day. I found it on Spotify. I was like,
Serious?
yo, I have these mixtapes on Spotify. Anyway, like, but like, you know what I mean? It's like in my head, I was like, I just want, even if 20 people know, in 20 years' time, if they're going back and playing my shit, and whether that sounds corny or not, I don't give a fuck. It's like, this is what it's about. And for me, amazingly, somehow I've got to that place already where people are like, yo, I'm going back, and the shit's, it's funny because there's people around the world that are buying my shit, but in my own city, people are still asking me if I'm still making music. And to me, that's amazing, man. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, some dude in Japan just bought my vinyl, and some guy's like, yo, he's still doing that music thing. I'm like, yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Bro, this is like, yeah, that never stops. That never stops, bro. Every day.
You know what the killer is? Some of the killers. I'll give you a few killers. I might write like a little, I don't know, like a little zine one day or something of just all the one-liners I've got from people. I heard you got a new video out. I saw it. I didn't have time to watch it. Okay. Like it's so English as well. It's like the underhanded, like, and it's like not disrespectful enough to be like, yo, that's straight. But it's like, you know what I mean? But I'm, you know, here, like, people have asked me what time I'm on stage, and they've come in exactly at the end of my set and shit like that, and I'm like, oh man, like, yo, this, it blows my mind, man.
It's
but
what it is,
again,
man.
we'll loop it back. We'll segue back to the you know, the cosign thing, because when those cosigns come, it's like, yo, Jugs is the guy. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, fuck with him forever, and it's cliche, but it's true, man.
Every single time, man. I got this. So one of the title of an album I'm doing, I'm not sure if I'll manage to get that next year, but it's called it's from a Bible verse, and it says a prophet in his hometown is what's the end of it? Prophet in his hometown is never revealed, or something like that. So basically, it's saying that no matter who you are, when you come home, no one shows you no respect. And it's like,
it's true.
That's the way it's always been as an artist, and you'll get that all the time. Like, yo, we still doing that music thing, yeah? How's the music going? That's a little.
He's doing that little music thing. The little, they accentuate the ting as well. You doing that little music ting. Like, fuck, man. Like. Yeah, okay.
That
like,
never changes.
The funniest one, I put it on the tune as well. Someone was like, is it paying the bills yet or what? I was like, wow, you've actually thought about me. You've actually thought about what's going into my pocket, into my bank. Like, it's wild. Like, but that's the thing. We'll say, going back to what we were saying, it's like, if you're gonna make music and the first thing you're thinking about is someone else.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get past that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, obviously, you got to think about an audience and the people, you know, who you're kind of directing the shit to. But if the first thing you think about is like, how's this going to be for someone else? As in, like, is this going to impress them or whatever? It works for some people, but for me, it makes it. My brain just goes, I could do 1,000 things. I could do 1,000 things that are going to try and impress this crowd, that crowd. But if you're going to make it, you know, something you make that you would want to listen to, then it's authentic. Do you know what I mean?
One of them. When I first started rapping, I was in a group called the Boiler Room Collective, and there was a whole bunch of rappers, and there was a rapper called Drama, and Drama was like, at the time, we was like, Drama was the old man of the group. Yeah, he must have been about, I don't know, 24 or something, but to us, he was like, he was the old man of the group. He was the wise one. Like, bro, you 24 still rapping, like, whatever, brother.
I know.
But he hit me with some bars one time, and he said, what I do when I write, I just write what I would want to hear another MC say. He was just like, if somebody had said that, I would have been like, oh, that's cold, and that's all I write. And from that day, I was just like, yeah, that's it. And it kind of goes through the writing side of things as a creative, because I'm always thinking, who am I writing for? Well, I'm writing for me. So I'm writing for the person who's pretty much just like me. That's who I'm writing for. And it also goes for when you talk about business as well. Like, who are you doing your business for? Who's your marketing and promotion for? And it's like, it's for me. It's for like the person who gets what I'm trying to get to them. And you forget as well, like, there's so many people out there like you. There's 7 billion people on the planet. You only need a tiny percent. Like I'm trying to skim off the top. Like all I need is a tiny percent,
fraction.
And we're good, man. We're good. But your bars definitely speak to me, man.
Good. I'm glad. Like that's the thing. But that's already people said to me, yo, you're a rapper's rapper. Yeah. And you know, you feel two ways about it. But at this, if I touch other MCs who have honed their craft and know what the fuck they're talking about and what it is they're doing, that shows you something, man. That shows you something. You know what I mean?
It's interesting, man. I think as well, like, somebody tweeted, who was it? Last week. It was Snips, man. DJ Snips.
Yeah.
Right. DJ Snips, yeah. I hope Snips, I hope you're watching. So Snips is like, he's the archetypal person of the old man, the grumpy old man, the grumpy old hip hop man who don't like nothing. You get me? Yeah, right? He don't like nothing. So he must have tweeted like, yo, how are you, man? Like, how is Juggernaut a thing? And you, man, ain't hearing no one talking about Juggernaut. Like, you lot are playing out here. And it's cool as well because he's a person who I really value his ear for music.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's going, yo, guys, come on, man. Like, let's me know.
That was surprising for me. I was like, yeah, okay. Because there's people that talk to me about stuff Snips has said that are not even in music like that. They just, you know, they're not artists, but they're like, yo, and you know, someone who's that mindset and like a tastemaker in that way. Yeah. You know what I mean? He say, yo, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. Like I've been around. A lot of people know me. And I've been around the industry and people, and it's like, there's not much I hear from people or hear back. So I just thought, okay, I'll just keep going. I'll just keep doing this for myself. And then when those things happen, it must be like, oh, fuck. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a tweet, but it makes me know I'm not crazy, that I'm like, people really keeping quiet. Like,
yeah, because, you're right. No, like 100%, because I feel like there's it's like you said earlier about MCs going, oh, I can't put him on the track because he'll kill me. I also feel there's that whole thing of like, people don't want to big up other people because you're like, if I big up him, then all my fans are going to check him out and they're going to be like, yo, he's colder than you. And
it doesn't go through. It's
a nuts thing to think about.
Because I do. I'm a chef as well, and I've got a catering business, and like with that, it never goes through my head. Oh, they've got this, and people have done sly shit with that side of things, and I thought it was just hip hop, but I was like, wow, like you know, it's always like, oh, they can't, you know, underhanded shit, but it's just like, for me, it just doesn't go through my head of like their competition. And I can't say anything. The thing with me, if you're sick, if I actually listen to you and I really like your stuff, it doesn't even go across my head like I can't say it or I can't tell people. Yeah. But I'm not everyone else. But yeah, it's just it's a weird place to be, because I'd never want to be, you know, to a lot of people I'm still new. So that's a different thing. I never want to be the slept on guy too. And it's difficult not to be in that place. Everyone gets frustrated. Everyone's got feelings. Everyone's got, you know, not everyone's Superman. Everyone's got like, oh, I don't give a fuck. You care. And rappers care more than most people because they put themselves out there. 100%. So it's like with this, I put my heart and soul into it, and it's like, to get that little bit back, I'm like, somehow I keep going. But, you know, it's like, okay, when he said that, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not crazy. Like he's saying that, like, how have I not heard about this guy from other people? Yeah, you know, within the scene and the industry and that kind of stuff. But you know, as I said, you just keep doing what you're doing, and then the right people do see it. You know what I mean? I
think one thing you are doing, I kind of want to speak on a little bit, is just the aesthetics of what you do, just the professionalism of all the things around it, because I feel like there's a lot of guys who can spit, a lot of guys who can spit bars, a lot of guys who, you know what I mean, know how to put a song together, know how to put an album together. But I feel like the ideas of how things are marketed, how things are put together, how things are presented makes a massive difference. And I feel like that's something that you've really hit on the head. And I want to say, I say this to my daughters all the time, yeah? How you do anything is how you do everything, right? So exactly. I've had, those who watch the show, I've had bare problems this week, yeah? And I have bare problems every week trying to get artists on the show. So I hit you up. I'm like, yo, bro, first of all, I was unprofessional in a way because I had to change the days. I was like, bro, can you switch the days? Because because other people like the week after, next week, are messing me about crazy. You were like, yeah, cool, no problem. Then obviously after yesterday, I'm like, oh man, I gotta get this sorted early. So I've gone on Twitter to Instagram to say, yo, bro, can I get the? Oh, he's already done it. He's already sent me the Skype address. Man's ready. You know what I mean? Like all these little things. Like I've already got headphones on. I don't have to say anything. And I'm like, to me, it's the attention to detail that makes the difference. Like it's
this is the thing, and like again, sometimes I feel like things are meant to be as in how this has happened. Of you saying this to me is to affirm how I feel, because I feel crazy sometimes with how I do stuff. I've been told like I'm too, like you too put together, like you too on it, like because people are not, and that's the thing. But it's like you saying that makes me know that, because the thing is, my whole life I've dealt with that bullshit, and I never want to be that guy. And if I'm ever late or if I'm ever out of my control, I'll tell you, I'll let you know, or I'll say I can't do it, and I'll say sorry, or I'll say, it's not. Again, my ego and my pride doesn't overrun that. Yeah. So when it comes to the package and putting stuff together, most of the artists I love are good at that. They're, because I get sad sometimes with people who can really spit when they haven't got all the other shit together. Yep. But it is a big job. Yeah. But for me, I know, because, again, sorry, I go off on tangents, but I'll bring it back.
I'm with you.
Someone asked me like a couple years ago, they're like, how the fuck do you do all this stuff? And I said, I'm not rich at all, I'm a working artist, but I was broke and I didn't have stuff coming up, and my parents are artists and we didn't have shit. So I was like, I got a computer and that does everything I need. So let me learn it. Let me sit down and not think someone else needs to do this. And I understand, the way the industry used to work, or as being a music artist, it's like there's someone to do everything, but I didn't have the money. Yep. And I was like, okay, I can get a cracked version of that, put that together. And then when it comes to artwork, I was born into an artist household. I went to college and did art, like just A-levels, and I got my head around stuff, and I had an eye, and it's like just refining it and honing it and creating your own shit. And it's like, how am I gonna do this and put something together that people can't say this is not cohesive? It's like this just works, and it's about at the end of the day, all the business and promotion and stuff. For some reason, I'm able to handle. I can do it, and I don't know how, but I'm able to do it. But what comes first is the art, the inception, the creation, and then the cohesive project. And my favorite thing in this is making that body, and everything else. It's difficult, it's fucking work, but that shit there is like, that is it. So like once you've got that body, so I do a few different things, but when it comes to the actual music, making an album, once you've got the actual music created, the artwork, the feeling, the everything together, that is the best feeling. And from there, all the other stuff kind of drops into place. And again, I'm just trying my best, and like, that's all I want to do, and make something cohesive, and that's that. And so you saying that makes me know again. You know what I mean?
it's crazy, bro. Like you speaking, I'm like saying I can say this. This is like, because the way you're saying it is exactly the way I think, and people always say like, yo, your team, man, your team's like, dude, there's no team, bro. It's just me. There's like, no team. It's like
literally. Exactly.
That's it.
So this is what I'm saying. And the killer for me is people. And people mean well. They really mean well. They're like, yo, you should do this, man. You need to do this. I'm like, literally, if you're putting it this way, I run 3 businesses as it is, and it's like 2 of them are music related, and I run a food business, and I'm doing this on my own, like literally everything. But that's also, again, another thing where people are like, he does all this on his own, he doesn't need me. So what do people gain from pushing you out there? It's like true. Because that, like you said before about like me being a producer, I produce, I mix, I master, I write my own shit, I do my own artwork, I make a lot of my own videos, graphic, like promotion, everything. So at the end of the day, what can someone else offer me? Yep. In that way, and why do I need them? So it's like the best things that have happened for me when I've worked with other people is when people just appreciate me and love what I do as an artist from another artist. That's the key, because otherwise I don't need anyone in that way. And I love to collaborate, but still, I don't need it. And if my beats are more fire, it's like...
I say this all the time, man. And sometimes I feel bad. People are like, yo, where can I send beats to? And it's like, you can't, man. Like, you can't. Like, the best thing you can do is maybe send me a link to your SoundCloud or something. If I hear something, then maybe I'll do it. But again, because you're so self-sufficient, it's hard to give that control to other people.
For sure.
One thing I'll say as well, when you first start doing that, because the way I see you at the moment, I see you're 10 years behind as far as age, but you're 10 years ahead, right? So to me, the way I see where you are now, it's about to go to some next level. It's going to be different. And I think the problem I had when I came out is because I was doing everything, that same thing where people don't have anything to offer you, so they don't offer. So they'll look at you and go, as far as you're talking about labels and even production companies, management companies, they'll look at you and like, what can we offer? There's nothing we can offer. They have no leverage. So when you're coming up, it feels like, oh man, like no one's really fucking with me.
Yeah.
But they understand that I have any leverage. But what happens is once the ball starts rolling, you are now a machine. So now you don't need anybody, and you're doing more than they can offer you anyway. And it's only gonna get better, man. It's only gonna get better, only gonna get bigger. You're gonna figure out more ways to streamline what you do. And boy, bruv, the future's bright, man. Crazy.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Well, I hope so. And like, hopefully when I was trying to sort of tour out for myself and stuff like that, and it's things like that as well. Like I put my own shows on, all that type of shit. But it's like when those times come, it's like we're talking about longevity. It's like performance for me is so important as well. And it's like that is a key to longevity, because when the days come when your music's not as good and you're not making that classic shit, because you do hit a point,
man.
And every artist does, no matter who.
Yeah.
But if you can still tour that and you can still do that and have that energy, that's so important as well, man. But yeah, it's we'll see what comes, man. Like what the future holds, because it's a weird time, but we're somehow able to still do what we're doing.
How was how was the I guess this pandemic time? How was that kind of changed your plans? Because obviously, from the outside of things, you've been more productive than a lot of people. It hasn't slowed down on the music side of things. But you talk about the shows and when there's put tours together. Has that kind of stopped the plans, and what's the plans for that in the future?
It stopped a lot of plans, and that was hard, like, because when you end up doing everything yourself, you're more in control of yourself. So this is totally out of every human on this planet. It's out of everyone's control. So just to give everyone a bit of like, get off your own back a bit, is like no one can deal with this in that way. But yeah, with me, I had a plan for this year, and I tried to be strategic and say, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to elevate things this way, and like. It didn't work out like that. And like at first I was like, yo, this whack, but there's not much you can do. So I've been able to, like with 12 Bricks, it was gonna come out this year, but then I was like, okay, this is the right time now, because we've had time to think about it this way. And when we're trying to get videos done and do this and that, and it's like within the time we're in now, if it's not right, it's not the best time, and things will come. And it's still, we can do it whenever. Like the music's always there. That's the thing. I think it was Capadonna was doing some videos for his tunes like 12 years later.
Yeah, I saw that.
A couple of them. I was like, yo, that was sick.
Yeah.
Like, but by the by, like, artists are needed right now, and that was in the back of my head, is like people were like, yo, this is what we need right now, and I keep going back to it, and those little things, keep you going in that way, man. Those little things keep you going, man. Like people hit me up and were like, yo, like this really helped me out, and it does make you think, yeah, man, yeah. But the thing is as well, people have been listening and taking time and going in more, and there's been weird little coincidences where I'm like, wow, I don't think that would have happened otherwise, or that type of stuff, man. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting time, man. But I just, you were saying before, like, about being like, I'm 10 years younger, but then 10 years ahead. It's just like messing with my head a bit. I'm like, shit, like it's a concept I don't really think about, man. I've never.
Do you know what it is though? Because the thing is, this is the problem. So when I was, I remember I was 28.
Yeah.
So I was 28 years old, yeah, and I was working at the gym at the time, and I was still doing music, but I wasn't. In my mind, I was like, I feel like I've missed the boat. Yeah, like, and I was like, nah, man, I'm too old for this. And at the time, I feel like there was a lot of that going around as far as like the ageism in hip hop, in rap. I remember there's a bar you saying I'll quit rap when I'm 18, and like that was like I remember having a conversation with Nova, and we were I don't know how old we were at the time, but we are like, yeah, man, 30 years old, man, we're out of this, like at 30, and it's like now that's not the case, and why would you ever limit your art like that? Why would you ever limit what you can do? And that mindset in itself slows everything down. But when you're in a position where you're like, no, I got this, I'm doing this, and there's no age limit on it, and just the way you got things patterned as well, I just feel like that in itself, it just it makes you powerful, man. It elevates what you're doing to a whole nother level, because it's a deeper understanding, and you're able to stand on the shoulders of giants. To me, that's the best thing about having. That's the reason you're supposed to have people around you anyway. People talk about, that's my older. You're older for what? Like, what are they telling you? What knowledge are they giving you?
See, this is the thing, and it's like, if you've got people that are really holding you up and being a teacher and we need griots. We don't have griots anymore. We don't have people that are like true speakers of and wisdom. If you've not got that, then I don't see what the deal is, because there's a lot of, you need stuff around you that's elevating you and keeping you on the straight and narrow path to whatever it is you're doing, because it can go off, man. But you said like standing on the shoulders of giants. Like, when I really break down like what the hell it is I do, like all I've ever wanted to do was stand with the greats, and that's a massive statement, but that has been in my head since I was a little boy, of like growing up listening to Wu and like, Ray and Ghost being my favorite MCs, is like, even if I never carry on with this, when I was young and like, oh, I'm gonna reach 18, I'm gonna quit, or I reach 30, I'm gonna quit. It's like, in my head, I was still like, yo, I just want to know that I somehow am able to stand with the greats somehow, some way, somehow. And that's still in my head. And that's the thing that's kept me going, is like, those people, I just want to respect. I respect who came before and what the hell it is that's been done and set for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because that's so important to me, man. It's about respect at the end of the day. And that's the thing. And I think that what's helped me is not letting my pride overrun that shit. Is like, well, I'm a man as well, and it's like, yo, there's still things there. There's still a level of respect that you gotta have for what's been set. Do you know what I mean? And it's,
I think you can hear that in the music though, man, because I feel like when you everything is foundation, right? So it's the foundation. Where does the music come from? And I feel like whenever you have an artist that doesn't respect the lineage of just where we've come from. Again, we mentioned in the beginning about culture. I feel like you can always hear it, but in your music, you can just hear like, nah, this comes from somewhere. This is a continuation of where the music came from. And I feel like, as somebody who really like, I love music to the point that I love hip hop, because hip hop gave me everything. I'm standing in a building that I couldn't get without hip hop, right? So the respect I have for it is next level. You know what I mean? Like, when Prodigy died, I cried real tears, I got tattoos on my arms, Prodigy's lyrics, because for me, it's like, that was the first rhyme I ever really like sat down and memorized. I'm only 19, but my mind is older. Like, that changed my life, right? So to me, I'm like, the respect I have for the music is on that level. And so when I hear an artist like you, it's that feeling of raw, like, it's in good hands. Like, the next generation are coming through with something different. They not only do they respect where it's been, but they're taking it to another level. And for me, that's always like a beautiful feeling, especially hearing it from an artist that's from like the country I'm from. You know what I mean? Like produced by my brother. Like, I mean, like, to me, it's like, whoa, okay. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Trust me.
I really appreciate that, man, and that's all I want to hear, man, and that's where I want to keep going with it, and I hope to get to a place where, you know, people like to, you know, people that are not in music as well, they're like, I can't believe you're not on this level, and I can't believe, but it's like, hopefully I can get to a place where people are like, oh shit, like, yeah, this is what we need, you know what I mean? And I don't mind feeling like I don't see that as a I'm bearing that, or it's my cross to bear. It's like, yo, like, no, this is what I want to do and what I'm meant to do. And it's like, it's just getting, you know, breaking that glass ceiling. That's why on the last song on 12 Bricks, I'm talking about the glass mortar. I was seeing a wall, and instead of mortar inside it's glass, you could just see, and I'm kicking through the glass ceiling. Like, there's no, it is a glass ceiling, you know, and that's what I want to get past. So it's not like, oh, he's the UK hip hop artist, or he was great for the UK. It's like, yo, this is hip hop. And the thing is with me, again, with like the articulation and all the things, it's like, when I was 16, 17, I had fans in the States already when I was putting stuff online. So that's what I always wanted, to make this worldwide. Because if people in my city were like, oh, whatever, I was like, okay, I'm doing a project with someone from New Jersey when I'm 16. So, you know what I mean? Through MySpace. So like, I was like, okay, let me branch out and see where it needs to go. And if I'm setting those foundations already, hopefully, you know what I mean, it gets to that place. And it's about the art at the end of the day, and the longevity.
You got time as well, man. You got time as well, like, and I feel like
there's no age limit. There's no age limit, man. Like, it really isn't, man. Trust me.
And that's the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of it. But like, this has been like great. I thank you for your time. It's been cool because, again, like, for me, listening to, one of the things I always want to get when I listen to someone's project, like, I love the fly talk. Yeah, I love the fact that when I'm listening to your album and I'm driving, I'm just like, right, you know what? Man needs to bust a rollie, man. Man's a pinky thing. He needs some chains, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, nah, you know what? I need to update the whip. Like, I love that feeling. In the music. But also, I love, like, the elements of understanding, like, who you are through the music. Like, that storytelling. So, but when I start the album, not knowing who you are, when I finish it, I'm like, I have an idea of who you are, and that's, to me, that's the art right there.
That's what I like to hear. If I can put that across, and there's something relatable, whether it's out of me being a person and you're just relating to whatever it is I'm talking about. But that's the thing. I think, like, everyone, if you can go out and get 12 Bricks, and Bem came before, and I think for me, Bem is like, that was a real stamp, because I produced most of it as well. There's 2 tracks by Stu Bangers on there, but the rest I produced. But for me, I start with my dad. I end with James Baldwin. James Baldwin, someone I've always looked up to, and I read his biography at the beginning of the year, and I've always read his stuff. And like, also with that, it's like the whole thing. You know, I'm mixed race, but someone who has been white passing to white people, I can talk about race. I can talk about these things, and it's more palatable. But that's also what, you know, everything's in there. I try and put everything. You know, there's a spoonful of medicine with all the flashy sugar shit. That medicine's still in there, and I'm gonna do that till the day I'm done, because that's what it's about. It's about having the gems in there and something for everyone. You know what I mean? I
love that as well, man. I love the fact that the like you say, the stuff you put in about race is quite hard hitting. It's unapologetic. And to me, that's always again, like you say, white passing or whatever. Like, to me, there's elements. To me, there's always, like, there's stuff you can do, stuff you don't have to do. But there's stuff that when you do it, it's like, oh, okay, shit. Like, maximum respect, because again, it's like, it's a lane that you don't have to go in if you don't really want to go it down. But it's a lane that you've chosen. Not like, no, this is what I'm doing.
I get that, and I think I want my work to be a collage, a cohesive picture of everything that's a makeup of me and a makeup of the society we live in, and then I can sprinkle some fucking dumb fly shit on top, because why not? You know what I mean? Because that's what I want to hear too. But everything's in there, and it's like, if we can do that, and if it's hard hitting, I'm glad, because people who might not listen to it because of their own stuff that's going on in their head and their own shit that they put a wall up to, if I've said it and it's hit them for, oh shit, okay, then fair enough. Or if you want to ignore it, cool, it's art.
For real, what I mean? I feel that, guys. Like, I want to say to everyone tuned in, man, you need to go listen to that. You need to listen to 12 Bricks. You need to listen to Bem, but go check the like, listen. the whole catalog, man, because there's gems in there on every track. And it's so funny, yeah, because when I first started listening to you, I kind of had the idea of like obviously like the fly talk, you do the fly talk, but there's something you do that the only other artist I can think who really does it is Jadakiss. Like, you just drop gems. It's bare gems. Like, it's always like a gem in there.
He's one of my favorites as well, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I already mentioned growing up in the mixtape era, but you know that Jada holds that place. And the way I grew up, like I said, I grew up in the ends or whatever. We weren't listening. Unfortunately, we weren't listening to UK hip hop. We were listening to Jada with that side shit. And them guys were still, you know, all my friends and all those people were still listening. You know, the gems came with it, and we took them in too. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. As well as the whip being the same color as mayonnaise or whatever. Jeez. You know what I mean? Like,
man said the roof is kiwi. I'm like, come on.
Kiwi.
Come on, man. Like, you can't listen to that and not want to be fly, man. You cannot listen to that and not want to be fly.
I still need that Jeep. I want to get a Jeep that color. I might buy it. I'll have a look on eBay, one of those
the
Kawasaki Jeeps or whatever, man, and just, you know, them 200-pound jalopy, the bangers, do it up.
Listen, man, get the Jeep, send it to Yanamaz, get him to wrap it up, man. His job done, innit? Like, he says to wrap anything, get him to wrap that. But yeah, brother, man, it's been a blessing to speak to you. I thank you for your time, and man, like, I'm gonna be watching and supporting actively from here on out, man.
Well, I'm glad we made this connection. You know what I mean? First time speaking properly.
Yeah.
Since the scene outside Rock City or whatever it was.
Crazy.
15 years ago.
Crazy.
But yo, respect, and I appreciate you having me on. And like, you know, anyone that can go out there and get my stuff, please do. So, yeah, at Juga-Naut, Juganaut, and thank you, man. Thanks for your time as well.
Nothing but love, man. Nothing but love. Stay on the line. I'm gonna say goodbye to the people, and man. Love. Yeah, so that was Juga-Naut, man. That was like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not supposed to be biased, but that's the best interview we had for a while, because I've just been like immersed in the music, and you know what I mean? I'm a at the end of the day, I listen to music as a fan. That's how I consume music. So to be a fan of his music and being able to then speak to the man behind it, it's been a blessing. But guys, we'll be back next week, next Monday. I don't know. I think next week it might be an all-female lineup, all 5 days. It might just be female rappers. I'm not sure at the moment. Where it's touch and go. But stay tuned for that, man. Just check the channel and we'll let you know what time it is. But guys, have a blessed weekend. Do what you gotta do. I'm gonna be working like normal, working on the weekend like usual. But do what you gotta do, guys. Peace and love.